This training mission follows the procedures described on the flight manual of the real aircraft, adapted for use on the F-4C aircraft module, created by VSN for DCS. The mission includes the following sections: before taxi, taxi; before takeoff, takeoff, initial climb. If the cockpit interior is too dark, activate the flashlight with left Alt plus L. If the yellow cross cursor is not visible, press left Alt plus left Shift plus C to make it appear. You can adjust the sound volume produced by the background air traffic by moving the in-cockpit sound slider on the DCS options audio screen, which you can access by pressing the escape key. This instructor's volume level can be adjusted with the helmet sound slider. Also, you can press spacebar to skip long voiceovers. You already completed the before taxi procedures on the prior shore cold start training mission. The only remaining step is to contact air traffic control to request permission to taxi. Bring up the communications menu with the / key. Select F1, request taxi to runway. Press spacebar once ATC grants permission.
Springfield 1-1, clear to taxi to runway 25.
Once ATC gives you clearance to taxi towards the runway, take note of the runway that has been assigned. On this mission, ATC should assign runway 25. Wheel brakes, test, increase throttles slowly and let the aircraft roll forward. Apply wheel brakes to check their operation. Okay, the wheel brakes operate properly. Don't release them yet. Nose gear steering, engage and check. To steer the Phantom, you press and hold the nose wheel steering binding, and then use the rudder pedals to steer the aircraft. For this mission, we will taxi towards runway 25 via runway 06, which is used as taxiway. On the left is a diagram of the route you will have to follow. On the briefing there is a diagram of this airbase, for your reference. Release the wheel brakes and resume the taxi. Next, turn left and proceed east, towards the Street C. Be careful of other traffic that may be near you. Street C is to your right, you should be able to read the sign. Turn right to enter it, and then turn left once you reach runway 06. Good, you are now on runway 06, proceed east, on a heading of 67 degrees, along its centerline. You are deviating too much from the runway centerline. Use nose wheel steering to straighten and steer your aircraft. Taxi at a moderate speed, slow the aircraft prior to turns to avoid excessive side loads on the gear. You have gone off the tarmac. Try to steer back into the taxiway. We are nearing the end of runway 06, reduce speed and turn right onto Street E. You are now almost at the runway 25, stop just short of entering it and call ATC for clearance. Bring up the communications menu, with the / key, and select, F1, request takeoff. Once ATC has given clearance, increase throttle, turn right to enter the runway, align with its center line, and stop the aircraft there, for a final check. A DCS bug sometimes prevents the ATC from transmitting his clearance, so, if ATC does not answer, increase throttle, and turn right to enter the runway anyway. Align with its center line, and stop the aircraft for a final check. Once you are aligned with the runway center line, bring the aircraft to a halt. Engines, run up. Hold wheel brakes and increase throttles to 85%, while checking engine instruments for normal readings. Compass heading, check. Complete the takeoff checklist. Flight controls, checked. Move the flight stick on all directions, and same with the rudder pedals. Wings, confirm they are spread and locked. Trim, set to 1 unit nose down. Flaps, as required. For takeoff, flaps should be set to half flaps. Full flaps is not an accepted takeoff configuration, and flaps up can be used for a clean airplane only. Hook, should be up. Warning lights, all out. We are now ready to take off. If nose gear steering is to be used, engage it prior to commencing the takeoff roll. Hold wheel brakes, increase throttles to 85%. Release wheel brakes. Now increase throttles to military power or afterburner. At 70 knots disengage nose gear steering. At 130 knots, pull full back on the stick. Rotation should be at around 150 knots. On the air, stick forward to avoid over-rotating. Raise the landing gear. At 180 knots or 300 feet, raise the flaps using the handle, or the left Ctrl + F keys. Set a 10 to 12 degree pitch up attitude. At 300 knots, throttle out of afterburner, onto maximum military power. Keep a 10 to 12 degrees attitude until reaching 400 knots indicated airspeed. Afterwards, vary the pitch attitude to maintain 400 knots until reaching final cruise Mach. Then vary the pitch attitude to maintain cruise Mach until reaching the desired cruise altitude. Congratulations, you have managed to taxi, take off, and perform the climb to 5,000 feet. You have successfully finished this training mission.